Welcome, everyone, to the Wildly Opinionated News Hour. Carrie, welcome.
Woo!
We're back.
We're
There's
back.
so much going on. Oh my gosh. It's Todd's world, guys. I'm Todd. Carrie's with me.
Hello.
Uh, we just go through what's going on, the news of the day or the week, or however you want to think about it. What we do is we drop this on Tuesdays, we drop the Wildly Opinionated News Hour, and on Wednesdays, we drop Beers with Jesus. Beers with Jesus, we're walking through stories of the Bible. That's our religion. News is our politics, if you want to think about it that way. But we like to we like to go a little wider afield than that.
Yeah.
And
I love all the stuff you've been doing recently, like kind of talking about
I
at
don't
the
want to
end.
just get bogged down in politics all the time.
Yeah.
Politics is big and it can be dominating. There's always something going on, but I like to, hit some wider, I don't know what you'd call them,
Just
cultural
topics because
interest.
it's our we have wild opinions about other things too. I like
Yeah,
it.
I like hearing different things, like
Mhm.
stories, well, last week we had Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, Bennifer talking about
That
Hollywood
was
and Netflix,
so
and
cool.
they just have a good take on a lot of that.
Mhm.
So, you know what we didn't get to last week? We didn't get to your Greenland stuff.
Oh,
There's
yeah?
nothing new is in the world about Greenland, but I just wanna put up the map and show people
Okay.
what's going on in the world with Greenland. Let's see if we can share. Come on. Okay. This is our map, Carrie.
Here it is.
Mike Netter, he posted this a while back. He said, "People mocking the idea of the US buying Greenland don't know history." And then he goes all the way back to 1867
Mhm.
when Andrew Johnson, was the one who killed Abraham. No, he was the one who became president after Abraham Lincoln was killed. He might have been involved. We don't know.
Oh, boy.
We're waiting on Candace Owens to get back that far. Right now, she's still stuck with Charlie Kirk. But you know what? Charlie Kirk, we found out, was a time traveler from Candace Owens. So maybe Charlie Kirk killed Abraham Lincoln, and maybe he was responsible for Andrew Johnson.
I don't know, but I have a feeling if he was back during that time, he would want to buy Greenland as well. He at least would have
Maybe
been
it's
on
been
the same
Charlie
team.
Kirk all along, like the Time Lord through history, trying to get us to get Greenland.
It was his mission.
1867, Andrew Johnson, so right after Civil War, Andrew Johnson explored buying Greenland and Iceland. And
Mhm.
this was right after Alaska. So we bought Alaska. Um, in World War II, FDR, the US took over Greenland's defense because Denmark was occupied by the Nazis,
Yep.
obviously.
Mhm.
Nobody on mainland Europe
Yeah, so
lasted
we
long
so
against
we took
Hitler.
over defense of that area
Yeah.
for Denmark, yes.
And then in 46, Truman offered $100 million in gold to buy it. That would have been a good deal if you look at what
Right?
gold's done. In the Cold War, from the Cold War to Eisenhower to Kennedy, there was
Mhm,
nonstop negotiations for bases, radars, and missiles.
mhm,
Post Cold War, Clinton, Bush, Obama expanded Arctic security and missile defense.
mhm.
2019, Trump said publicly what presidents discussed privately for 150 years. That's just what Trump does. Trump exposes.
Right.
He's all about exposure. We've talked about that.
Well, and this isn't it's not that all this stuff was secret, it's just not something that's been top of the mind awareness for the American
People
people.
weren't paying that much
But as
attention.
soon as Trump brings it up, it's an insane, you know, dictator idea,
Yeah.
he's crazy. So, that's why I liked this tour through history of our interest in protection of, Greenland. So,
I thought it was good
I thought so too.
because Trump wants, you know, it's been defending Greenland, negotiating. It's all about those Arctic shipping lanes. Those are breaking up now.
Mm,
Um, and also, if you look at where our missiles would fly over, our ICBMs and things, and the Golden Dome that Trump's talking about to prevent, that Israel has the Iron Dome, and their missiles go up and they take out the missiles that are incoming or the rockets or whatever
uh-huh.
from. There's no Hamas, I don't think anymore, but when there was,
Okay.
before they slaughtered and burned down all of Gaza
Mhm.
to rid themselves of Hamas. So, same idea, and it's important for Trump. And so I
Yes.
thought that was, yeah, I think he got what he wanted mostly. People are gonna say, "Well, we don't own Greenland right
Mhm.
now," and that's true. But,
Where are
there
we
we
with
go.
it?
He renegotiated at Davos and got what he wanted, which I think was he got a big portion of mineral and raw or rare earth rights.
Mhm. Okay.
So the US, I think probably they pay a percent to Greenland and then keep a percent. Those are the kinds of deals that Trump works out. Places that they have all this untapped potential, and so we can bring American companies in, and we can get a chunk of it too, and then we give a chunk to Greenland, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
We can put bases wherever we want. It goes into perpetuity. There's no sunset provision on the deal.
Oh, very
It's
cool.
it, it's most of the advantages of owning Greenland without actually owning it and taking responsibility for the social fabric or the social safety net for their whatever 60,000 Greenland citizens. You know what I mean? They're not going to
Right.
vote. They're not going to be a
I
state.
was
They're not
gonna
going to be
say,
all the
I
same.
just was looking it up. It's so funny you already knew. I was curious what the population is there, and it's so small.
Yeah, is it 51 or I don't know.
56 to 57,000 people,
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, not very big. It's pretty
Gotcha.
cold up there. You think it's cold here in Michigan? Shit, go live in Greenland.
Yes.
I think up there they get that like 24-hour sun and stuff at certain
I
times. I
think
don't know if
they
it's in the
do.
summer or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't need all that.
We were talking about that at
Heck, the
church.
sun's up here till 10:30 in the peak of summer. It's
Right?
already like, my lord.
I remember
Then you
that.
hit
Trying
the
to put
peak of winter and it's like 4 o'clock.
I know, it's, like, dark most of the day. I remember trying to put my kids to bed in the summertime visiting Michigan, and it was so hard because it was so light out. For,
Yeah,
like,
it's
3
light.
hours after their bedtime, it was still light out.
Well, we talked about this before. Like, we're both obviously you're in Jacksonville. I'm on the western side of Michigan.
Mhm.
We're both in Eastern Standard Time Zone,
Yes.
but you're at the far eastern edge
Mhm.
and we're at the far western edge because if you were to take a straight line
Yeah.
south, I mean, Indiana starts to go, they cross right over. I mean, Chicago's in central,
Mhm.
and so we're like right on the border. So that's part of why we get it. We get like an hour longer than you
Got it.
because it's taking that hour to go across the time zone. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. I think Trump is doing what Trump always does,
Mhm.
which is, and people still, it's amazing. It's amazing to me that people don't get it, but I don't think they yet get the fact that Trump, what is Trump? He wrote The Art of the Deal. That was his like magnus opus, right? Like that was
Yes.
his, and it's
Pretty
every,
early on too. That wasn't that from, like, the '80s or
yeah, and
early
it
90s?
defines Trump. It has defined him all the way through his career. It defines his political career. I'm not saying he doesn't have any principles. He does have principles.
Mhm.
America First being one of them, a
Yeah.
strong America, there's things like that.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things he's just after the deal. And what Trump does is he takes the topic. So other presidents might explore buying Greenland, they might explore this. Trump takes it and he ramps it all the way up and says, "Well, I mean, if they won't give it to us, yeah, we might have to send the military."
Right.
And Europe is sending 15 Germans there with their dog sled team to defend it.
Yeah.
So Trump takes this Overton window
Yep.
and he shoves it as far as he can, and then the entire world freaks out,
Mhm.
and and then it comes back and Trump gets something that he probably wanted originally, which was somewhere back in the middle. He gets his deal. But he knows because of the art of the deal that he asked for so much more upfront than what he wants. And
Interesting.
that's what people don't understand. And I don't, all you have to do is get that. And so many things about Trump and Trump's behavior and Trump's leadership will fall into place.
Never heard him described that way, and that's so accurate.
He is a problem solver. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
he's got a unique set of skills that's just it's fabulous and it's amazing. But
Do you think
but
people
art of the deal is core, man.
Right. Do you think part of the problem, people have accepting him and kind of just going with the flow and seeing how things work out with him, all the media misrepresentation aside, do you think it's just because we've grown so accustomed to nothing really getting done that it's scary when someone comes in and says, "I'm gonna get this done."
I do,
Because he
yeah.
does, like, ramp it up, and I think then everyone who's against him starts saying, "Well, wait, you haven't thought about this, or you're gonna start a war."
Right.
And I mean, we're just so used to being put under this, like, protective, like, "We'll take care of everything," but they're not doing anything. They
Well,
don't get
that's true.
anything done, and he fixates on something, it's like, "I'm gonna get this done," and there's no
I do think
stopping.
that. I think that he works the media in some ways the same way that he works the public, because, I mean, when you're working the
Mm,
media, you're working the public to some extent.
okay.
And that is he does the same thing. He shifts hard, and he shifts harder than what he wants, so that when the dust all settles and he's back somewhere where people think that he negotiated or he compromised or he didn't get all he wanted, he did get exactly what he wanted.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so,
Interesting.
but I think he's playing the public and the media the same way. When I say play, I don't mean it in like a manipulative sense. I just mean that's how he is.
Mhm.
So his communication style, everything he's doing is is in that vein. And
Yeah.
so when people look back, they don't get everything that they wanted. You don't get you can see him shifting now in live time from mass deportations to we got to get rid of the worst element.
Yep.
I don't necessarily love that shift. I
Mm,
think it needs to be pushed harder towards more deportations.
mhm.
But I'll say this, people get real upset at Trump, even people, MAGA people, like nothing's ever gonna change, nothing that I got Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, multiple Marjorie Taylor Greene clips, and,
Oh, Disney?
she's going the hell off,
I
yeah.
didn't know that she was even, like, yapping anymore.
Let's start with
Okay.
MTG.
MTG.
I gotta go back and
I
find
have
her.
not. I just haven't heard much about her in a while since she, like, kinda defected, a rich woman.
I wanna show you this before we get to MTG. Sorry, this is the stream of consciousness that is my X bookmarks. There's absolutely no place for this in our show at all, except that I just wanna show it
Oh,
to
got
people
it.
and show it
Okay.
to you.
We're gonna do this? Alright.
Yeah, it's a complete, like, there's no flow at all to any of this,
That's alright.
but
That's kind of the
I
fun.
kinda love this.
Wild
So
opinions will do that to you.
this is the Midwest,
Okay.
it says the Midwest is at least 5 Midwests,
Okay.
and see how they shade out? They've got in the green, you've got the North Woods,
North Woods.
and then you've got the lower lakes in the yellow.
Okay.
Like, we're right in here, so we're right on the border, but then you get down here and you're kinda into the heartland where you've got a lot of you get a lot of agriculture in the lower lakes too.
Yes.
Then that Midland Valley along kind of the river valley,
Midland Valley.
and
Okay.
then the plains. Look at
Great.
that. I thought this was great. Like, it's showing this and now I'm from the Midwest, so this is why probably I like it. Maybe in the Florida, you do the same thing. It's like different levels of swamp. You got the deep swamp, and then you got the swamp that we filled up with millions and millions of tons of dirt.
Oh, it's so interesting. Who was I just talking I was just talking with someone. This is like a random conversation. I feel really bad. It's like a month ago. I met someone and was like, oh, I know what it was. Anyway, we were talking and met this woman. She said something about having been from the Midwest, or she went to visit family in the Midwest. And
Okay.
in my mind, the Midwest is like Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Like, that's the Midwest to me.
A lot
I
of
said,
people don't even think of those as
"No."
Midwest. They think
And
of
I
them
said,
as Great
"Oh,
Lakes
where
states.
did you go?" And she's naming everything there that are in the plains, highlighted
Like
here in the
Iowa,
plains.
Kansas, North Dakota, South
She said
Dakota.
Missouri, and I'm thinking, "Missouri?" And in my mind, I'm like, "I thought Missouri is like the South." And when you look at the bottom of Missouri, it is
Yeah, then it gets into Arkansas, and Arkansas is
Arkansas.
definitely Southern.
She called Arkansas Midwest, and I didn't argue with her, but I was like, "Huh, I've gotta figure out how the Midwest is actually mapped out." And look it's like, here it
Well,
is.
this gives you some of it. But
That's
yeah,
really
I think
interesting.
anyway,
What's MSA? Okay, gotcha.
that was my aside, guys.
What's the
Now we're gonna
MSA's little box? What is that?
what is it?
MSA's, it says MSA's over
Oh, that's metro statistical area or something,
okay,
over 1,000,000.
okay, gotcha.
So when you look at this,
Because
let's see,
there's
we'll pull it back
cities,
up
yeah,
if we
city
can pull it
areas.
up. Why it won't pull up now? What in
No,
the
it's okay.
hell?
Yep, I see,
Anyway,
like,
you can see,
Detroit,
like, yeah, you
Chicago.
got Detroit, Chicago, those
Is
that
that like Milwaukee?
it's giving you the big metro areas.
Yeah,
Milwaukee would be up here.
yep.
I don't know why they've got them. They must be the way they've got them shaded. Oh, those are state capitals. The stars are state capitals,
Yeah,
and then the areas that are shaded are the counties that have more than 1,000,000.
right.
So, like, on the east side of Michigan, then you get down by
Interesting. Okay,
Chicago.
yeah,
Yep, Indy.
I'm glad you
Yep, here's Minneapolis. This is Tim Balls up here. They're getting ready to defect from the union, to secede.
Are they?
Yeah,
They're
we've
gonna
got
join
some
Canada? Bye.
we've got some Tim Balls. It'll be good. Okay, I'm gonna find MTG now.
Okay.
But that was one of those, like, there's no place for that. You're only gonna
Perfect.
get that on the Wildly Opinionated News
I
Hour.
thought that was perfect. You're like, Beers with Jesus, wildly opinionated news hour. Let's just throw
We
it in.
mix things up, guys.
Yeah.
I do wanna share this too. This is it's kind of in the same vein. All this is, let's see, let's pull it up. It's not a clip again, it's just an X post.
Okay.
But it's this is what they're guessing for 2030, the apportionment forecast, which means what's gonna happen with the census and with US representatives in the House.
Okay.
So what that means is that if you look over here, California is gonna lose 4 representatives.
Oh.
Oregon's gonna lose 1, Minnesota's gonna lose 1, Illinois is gonna lose 1, Wisconsin's gonna lose 1. Okay, and then you're gaining in Texas, you're gaining in Florida, 2 in Florida, you're gaining 1 in Georgia. So what this means is about 8 representatives are probably or 8 districts are gonna switch from being predominantly blue states to being into red states, which is gonna help the House.
Mhm.
And probably under this map,
Yeah.
uh, under this forecast, Trump would have won the 2024 Electoral College 322 to 216. And even if Kamala had won Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, President Trump still would have won 280 to 258.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons we're fighting to get deportations, and you know
Well, I
what
was
I
gonna
mean?
say, and does this take into account, like, illegals voting or illegals
Well, right now, I think it considers
deported?
this is not considering there's a case pending before the United States Supreme Court right now,
Mhm.
and I think Missouri is the plaintiff in it,
Okay.
and it's that we can't the census can't count illegal aliens. And it makes sense because if you start counting in the census illegal aliens, suddenly California has far more representatives than it should because they're counting all these illegal aliens in California. Now everything's shifting Democrat because they're weighting these census because they're aiding and abetting crime. And so Missouri's whole point is that's hurting us. That's hurting Missouri. We should have it's dampening down our representation, and it makes sense.
It's interesting. Why did Missouri raise this, and are they doing it alone?
I don't know if any other states have signed on yet. They just Missouri's AG filed it, and you know what I mean. I think they just
Thank
decided.
you,
My guess is
Missouri AG.
they probably decided with the help of Trump's. Um, I'm sure they were coordinating it with Trump. Is my point. Okay, here's MTG. Let's hear what she has to
I'm
say.
just
This
gonna
is
see
her.
who
She's
Catherine
on the.
Hanaway is the Missouri Attorney General currently.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
MTG, which is Marjorie Taylor Greene, has gone off the reservation, as we all know. Come here, Marjorie. Where are you going? Um,
Yeah.
and she
Okay.
got
MAGA defector.
she got butthurt by Trump, and
I shouldn't,
she
but I love that expression for some
she wanted
reason.
to run for governor in Georgia, and Trump was like, "Your polls are crap. You're not going to run for governor. You're not going to run for Senate because you're not going to win either one."
Yeah, she's pretty. She's
Trump's the king right now. You can like it or not like it.
polarizing. Yep.
So here's MTG. Let's hear what she has to say.
Okay.
Let me know if you don't hear the sound.
Okay.
It was a problem while I had beers with Jesus last week.
It's not me just saying this. I think the proof is over and over and over. The American people have seen it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm not saying anything that's not true. The proof is in the pudding,
Proof is in
and
the pudding.
it's just the reality.
What?
You
What can we
can't
do
vote
to
your way
fix
out of
it?
this. You
So
can't vote
what
your way
can we
out of it.
do?
Did you hear what she said there, guys? She said you can't vote your way out of
Well,
this.
what did she talk? What's the context of this?
She's about to get into it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Let's let her go. I just wanted to make sure we can't vote our way out of this.
Okay.
So I
Mhm.
don't know what to tell you to do.
Yeah.
The people are going to have to refuse to support the political industrial complex. That's the only way you can tear it down. There's winning the midterms is not going to lower
What the heck, guys?
What just
I don't
happened?
know what even happened. Sorry.
That's okay.
Can't vote
What
your way
can we
out of it.
do?
The people are going to have to refuse
Host error.
to support the political industrial complex. That's the only way you can tear it down. There's winning the midterms is not going to lower your health insurance. Winning the midterms is not going to fix our elections and stop election fraud. Winning the midterms isn't going to really change much in Washington, D.C. It certainly is not going to do anything about the national debt. They don't care about the national debt. We have a balanced budget amendment that every single year gets reintroduced into Congress. We all co-sponsor it, but no matter who the speaker is, Republican or Democrat, they never bring it to the floor for a vote. Same thing. We have a term limits bill. A whole bunch of us co-sponsor it, and every single Congress, they never bring the term limits bill to the floor for a vote because they don't mean it. They literally don't mean it. If term limits were in place, a bunch of these people would get term limited and then they'd have to leave Washington. They wouldn't have a job. You want to know why? Because they couldn't make it on their own 2 feet in the real world. They are not qualified and competent enough to actually run a successful business or go work an ordinary job like most Americans do. They're just
Yeah.
not. They're not competent enough people, but yet they're running our country.
That lady's face is I love that.
Maybe she's going to start signing for us. I missed everything. No. What do you think, Gary? What do you think of Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Well, I
aspiring host of The View?
I hope I don't even like to think about that, but I think it's that what she's saying is that's kind of what I was saying earlier is like they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. There's
You
some
know,
truth in
she
that.
says they have a balanced budget bill. They have a shoot, what was the other one she just said? The
It's harder to take from somebody who just resigned
term
after
limits.
their net worth went up to $25 million, and now they're trying to get on The View, and they have parlayed becoming a congressional representative into some form of celebrity on which they intend to bankroll the rest of their life, while
She's a
talking about how the rest of them who stay in their job, they just couldn't make it out here with me.
Well, I was gonna say,
It's
yeah,
just a little hard to take, Marjorie.
she's such a wild card character. Like she's really something
It's
else.
not even that she's wrong
No.
necessarily. It's just like, come on.
It's just like
Come
you're
on.
like you don't like that it's coming from her. I like how you know what? She's crazy and she goes for the shock, but I like what she's saying there. I mean, I don't like what she's saying, but I think it's very honest and revealing.
Apropos.
That's what's happening in DC. They get in there. Why is she getting out though?
Well, she is out. I mean,
Yeah. But why? Why'd she leave? See, that's the thing.
because she's pissed at Trump
Well, term limits could
and she's
be-
mad at MAGA, and then now it's all because they're never going to do anything. You know what I mean? Here she is on with
Wait,
what's his name?
okay,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay,
Tell me. It's going to take me a
this is
second.
something to think about. Do you think it's possible Marjorie actually wants to get something done? Forget her side gig cash out, but do you think she actually wanted to get something done and she's mad because she got there and no one's doing anything? Does she feel like disillusioned? It's like too slow and uphill climb, and I mean,
Well,
is it possible?
I think that everybody, well, maybe I shouldn't say this.
Okay.
I think that anyone, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of these that signs on to run for Congress and try to win. I think that they are shocked and appalled when they get on the inside just how much the deck is stacked against them.
Right.
There may or may not be Democrats and leftists that are still that wide-eyed and like still really believe.
Yeah.
I mean, in that, I don't know. But yeah, I think that you may even run into the same thing. You may run into the same thing with a squad. Now it happens more when your party's in power. So what you notice is that the squad and AOC, they all get big mad at Biden when he's not doing enough. Doesn't matter if he's arresting former presidents. It doesn't matter that he's throwing innocent American citizens in jail. He's not doing enough.
It's not enough. Mm-hmm.
Hang them from overpasses. That's what they want. Public displays of assassinations, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is real in the sense that I think that happens. That happens to Lauren Boebert. It probably happens to all of them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then you get like Matt Gaetz. There's a level of frustration where he's like, "Screw it, I think I can do more on the outside."
Yes.
But when you try to burn it down on your way out, that's when you say, we going back to our beers of Jesus that we did last week. That was and listen to this week's too, guys. It'll drop tomorrow.
I'm definitely
But you
gonna
should
listen
go
to
back.
last week, the special edition. It was
Yeah, the special episode we did. We had cousin Trevor came on and joined us. We talked about Life West Church, which is the church that I go to. But I think what my point is, we were talking about a disagreement I was having with the church, but it wasn't the end of the world. And I don't think you got the idea that we were trying to burn it down. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That's what bugs me about MTG is that it just became personal because what'd you get? Bacon?
Patrick just delivered me fresh cooked bacon.
Wow. Is he still making it in a pan, not in the oven?
He's still making it a pan. 'Cause he makes like 5 little slices at a time.
That's
He's
awesome.
so wonderful. Sorry to interrupt, but it was like,
I'm jealous of your bacon.
smell the bacon.
Here's MTG talking to what's his name? Joe Scarborough.
Yep, Joe.
And this is a short one about Don Lemon. We do have to get to Don Lemon being arrested. Thank God the world is starting to turn right.
But free speech, Todd, free speech. The First Amendment. Oh my gosh.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you want something where she's right in, she schools Joe Scarborough in this.
Okay.
The people that went into the church, that were the protesters that went into the church, if under the Faith Act.
Face Act.
If under the Faith Act.
Face.
Faith, right.
Face.
Oh, face.
Face. It's a federal law.
Oh, I thought it was, you've got to have faith.
Oh my God.
Well, the Christians have faith, and they were trying to have church, and Don Lemon and a bunch of activists came in and harassed them to the point children were crying.
Right. But what I'm saying is, whatever that act is, if it is the Face Act or the
whichever one
or the Fake Act, whatever act it is, I think the people that went in and disturbed that church, if they want to prosecute them, then that's certainly, their right to consider that. The people
he doesn't like the fact that it didn't go quite far enough. He doesn't like the fact that that Don Lemon was arrested. I don't know if everybody knew that. Is Don Lemon on CNN now? Is that where he is?
I
can't, or is he just kind of independent?
I thought he was independent, but I'll find out.
Maybe he's kind of independent. But remember last week? Let me search this up. Last week, Don Lemon, or we played the video where he's going into the church, right?
Yes.
Don Lemon church video. I'm going to pull it up if I can find it. Perhaps. Maybe. And how in the hell? Here he is. This is him talking about how people should be disturbed.
Right.
And church planners gave him critical information. So what happened was Don Lemon
right now.
He's independent right now
on YouTube.
So
he's a YouTuber.
Okay. He's a YouTuber. Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being independent.
No.
We love it. Sorry, sometimes when I do random searches, I don't understand what the problem is, people. I can't find what I'm looking for, but we're going to just try this one with Don Lemon.
Okay.
And see how it works. He got arrested not last night before.
Mm-hmm.
After midnight. I think Don Lemon's gay, isn't he?
I think so.
He's got a husband, or no, I don't know if he's a husband or a partner or whatever he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But because his partner was big upset because it was after midnight and the feds came in. What happened was they tried to get an arrest warrant signed by one of the magistrate judges in Minnesota, and because Minnesota, not just Minnesota, but a lot of the federal judiciary is completely woke and completely anti-America. They would not sign the arrest warrant for Don Lemon. He's a journalist, right? He can break the law at will. The idea is if Right. Here's Don. Let's hear what he has to say.
Into Minneapolis
Whoops.
a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground, speaking to an organization there that's gearing up to for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. The whole community. This when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or
What is
whatever,
that?
but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on.
So the resistance, they're in Minnesota and they're resisting federal law enforcement, ICE officers arresting criminal sexual predators, murderers, rapists, the ones that are eating the cats and dogs.
Right.
That's what they're resisting.
Mm-hmm.
And they're resisting and they got killed. Renee Good got killed. That Pretty guy got killed. I think that was his name, Alex Pretty or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so you ask yourself, why are they fighting so hard for the Somalians? Well, they're fighting for the Somalian fraud money. That's what you have to understand. They don't care at all about the Somalians.
Yeah.
I can't exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Sakima Armstrong, and she has been.
So what you need to know is Don Lemon knew before they ever went to this church. He knew what the plan was.
Yeah.
He was in on the conversations planning it. And he's going to tell you right there. He couldn't tell you exactly. He told you what it was called, but he's not going to tell you where they're going.
Doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where to.
Okay, so he was heavily involved, right? These are surprise operations. He knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
They went to a Southern Baptist church in Minnesota, which I know through some people because it was the Southern Baptists are a denomination. They are not all Southern, apparently.
Oops.
Carrie's throwing things around with her bacon. She's getting all kinds of wound up about her bacon.
Sorry. I'm listening. I am. Yeah, no, I just asked about the Southern because it's in Minnesota. I thought it was weird that it was called a Southern Baptist Church. I thought you were just kind of using that expression or
No, it was they have churches that are around. Now here's Don Lemon again, where this is him talking. This is before he got arrested.
Mhm.
And he's talking to who's this chick? You're gonna know her as soon as you see her. Who is that?
Oh, I do not know her.
You don't, Jennifer something.
Who is that?
Ruben, is that her name? I can't remember her name. Let's hear what he has to say.
Okay.
And there's a degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christian.
So they've stormed the church. This is a few days later. He hasn't been arrested yet.
Right.
And he's telling you why it's perfectly fine that they stormed and interrupted a church service and scared the hell out of kids in the stairway and parents and everything else.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why they didn't get shot by the parishioners. I wish they would have,
Ooh.
but they didn't. And somehow Don Lemon is still breathing to be arrested.
Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
I think he became the face of it when he
settled the gay
stormed
black
into a
man in America.
I think when he stormed into a church with a microphone and a camera and a protesting entourage, I think that's how he became the face of it, don't you?
Yeah, he went up to the pulpit. That's what you're going to see right here. He's up. This is the event, guys. So this is what happened. We did play this a couple weeks ago. Hell, it could have been last week. I don't remember, but we're playing it again.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful.
That's the pastor of the church that they invaded, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. Invasions, people.
It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
But there were folks who will
that's what, I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution and the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship.
Whoops, sorry guys. Anyway, that was the whole point. I don't even know what's going on. Everything's everywhere. Sorry,
So
guys.
I'm glad no one shot those people.
Carrie's glad. I like a little bit of carnage.
There's enough carnage going on in
Carrie thinks there's enough carnage. I want a little bit more.
Minneapolis right now. It's horrible. But it's but that's pretty crazy hearing him like, how did I become the face of this? It's like, dude, you put yourself literally on camera in the middle of it and caused a scene.
It's against the law to invade a church, interrupt the worship service and protest and try to scare the hell out of kids. It was, I think Don Lemon's going down on two different felonies. Now, listen, if you're Don Lemon, he was released without bail. Imagine that. I'm sure that had nothing to do with the
Right. Was
with
anyone
the
else?
leftist bent of the courts.
Was anyone else let out on bail?
If you were a Trump supporter on J6, hell, you didn't even get a hearing for a year and a half. But if you're Don Lemon, you get released without bail. Okay. All right, guys. Whatever you want to do.
I also can't help but imagine, Todd. I want you to picture this. I want you to picture Megyn Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine her storming in with, how many people were in that group? Like 10? A dozen?
Oh, more than that.
Cameras? Okay.
30, 40.
Okay, sure.
Fair amount.
Let's say that. She storms into a mosque in the middle of a service, gets in the face of the preacher in the front with a microphone and cameras and disrupts everything.
Megyn Kelly you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just saying, flip this a little bit because Don Lemon claims that this outrage is only because freedom of religion is only for Christians in this country. And I'm thinking, if this happened in a mosque with a conservative journalist or any journalist for that matter, people would be
they would have been in jail.
At the inappropriateness of that. And I feel like he's really blind if he doesn't admit that.
Here's Megyn Kelly. Speaking of, look at your amazing transitions. I want you guys to know that Carrie didn't even know Megyn Kelly was in the queue.
Folks, this is unrehearsed.
It's Hall of Fame level.
That's the problem for John Lemon. If he had stayed on that sidewalk, this wouldn't be happening to him. But he didn't. He joined the mob. He disrupted the service. He got in the face of the pastor and other parishioners. He was told to leave. He refused. He's in a lot of trouble. And it's not because President Trump doesn't like Don Lemon. Trust me, there are many other journalists, ones who actually have power, unlike Don Lemon, who President Trump would love to take out, but doesn't.
Unlike a YouTuber.
This isn't about any vendetta against Lemon. He would have been picking on him and trying to get him fired from CNN. He would have been actively interfering in Don's life long before this. This is about what Don Lemon chose to do and who he chose to target. That's the problem for
you. Got it. She's dead on.
Mm-hmm. True.
So Don Lemon is in some big trouble, assuming, and we're going to assume something here that probably won't be the case, assuming there's not two different systems of justice. I'm quite certain there is. So we'll find out.
Our system of justice completely favors white male Christians.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be
The
interesting.
Puritans didn't even come over here for religious liberty. They didn't come over here to found a Christian nation. He has no idea. Do you know how ignorant of all history these leftist journalists are? All they know is propaganda.
Yeah.
It's a failure of our public schools. You know what? It's a failure of America for the last 40 years, last 50 years, that empty-headed people like Don Lemon even have any kind of say in this. It's ridiculous.
It's a pitfall. It's a pitfall of what is unique about our country, in that we are made up of, all these people from around the world, way back, long ago, and trying to be inclusive and all of that is just We have pitfalls that other countries don't face.
And so meanwhile, the protests are still going on. Trump sent Tom Homan, after this latest guy got shot, Trump sent Tom Homan to Minnesota. And Trump I don't know if you heard, Trump had a phone call with Tim Balz, the governor of Minnesota. He had a phone call with Tim Frey, or not Tim, Mayor Frey, whatever his name is. And supposedly Trump said they were good conversations. This again, you never know with Trump, But anyway, they were good. Probably when they're on the phone with the president, they mind their P's and Q's a little bit more than they do when they're out. But now this is Glenn Beck, but what he's going to play is a clip of Tim Balz talking about the situation and how important this is, that this is the time to rise up against the government, because if they can deport murderers and rapists that are illegal aliens that committed a crime to be here, that are committing crimes still, then the entire American dream is in peril. We can't.
Oh boy.
This is our Fort Sumter moment. That's what you're going to hear him say.
Okay.
You ready for Tim Balz?
I'm ready.
Like I said, Glenn Beck, he's going to play us some Tim.
This is really important what he said. Listen.
And at this point in time, I told Tom, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But unless I see a reduction in these folks on the streets, I'm going to have to say that to my folks. So look, we all think we all want to avoid that. But I think the reality has sunk in this week. If you thought you could pass this by and you thought there was nothing there, I mean, is this a Fort Sumter, John Brown moment? Where are we at on this? And we're doing everything right. And I have said it time and time again. The way you win this is
stop. Where?
Do people understand what Fort Sumter and John Brown is? Or are we stuck again in the lack of any history?
I need you to refresh me, I'm sure other people listening, on Fort Sumter. And
Fort Sumter was, so you had all these tensions between the North and the South when it came, the election of Abraham Lincoln kind of brought everything to the fore, kind of like Trump has. But it'd been simmering for decades over slavery. And you had this abolition movement in the North that didn't like slavery, besides the fact slavery wasn't part of the culture of the North. And so the North was they were more, there was a bigger population of the North. The North had a bigger manufacturing base, and their economies weren't based on slavery. Therefore, when Lincoln comes in and then he enacts some tariffs that negatively affect the South's economy, because the South's economy is based on imports and based on slavery. And so that inflamed things to the point the South finally decides to secede. Even then, the North doesn't do anything until South Carolina fires on and takes over Fort Sumter, which is the federal fort in South Carolina. And they conquered the fort and took all the munitions and everything else. And it was at that point that Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which only freed slaves in the southern states that seceded, by the way. It didn't free slaves across the entire country. That did happen after the war.
Okay.
And the John Brown was an abolitionist, but John Brown, and this was before Fort Sumter, but you had remember there was like an armory that they took over, and I can't remember what the name of the town was, if it was in Kentucky or where it was, with John Brown. But he was an abolitionist, but he was dead set. He was a violent abolitionist. He'd kill slave owners. He's like me, wants a little bit of carnage. But my point is,
by the means kind of guy.
yeah, this was not what you would want. You wouldn't think, if you were the governor of a state in modern America, that you would be comparing right now to Civil War, to moments that led to the Civil War and that were filled with bloodshed and carnage.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's what Tim Balz is saying.
Interesting.
Tim Balz is saying,
it's interesting
listen,
that he would do that too, because it's just he's such like an empty, threatening softy. You know what I mean? Such a puppet. It's just it's kind of weird that he would.
Well, he seems like that, but I'm telling you, he's here's Trump. Then they asked Trump. They said, what they're asking Trump to respond to Tim Balz' Fort Sumter moment, the comments that he made. And this is Trump responding.
On Minneapolis, Governor Tim Walz recently likened the conflict on the ground to Fort Sumter, sort of implying that this is the beginning of a civil war. Do you agree with that characterization? Do you feel like there's a civil war brewing?
Does he know what Fort Sumter was, or do you think somebody wrote it out? And this is I was elected on law and order. I was elected on a strong border. We had a border that allowed 25 million people to come in. Many were murderers and murdered people. We had 11,888 murders. We had prisons, including Venezuela. But Venezuela opened its prisons. So did the Congo. The Congo in Africa opened its prisons and dumped people into our country. Many countries did that. I would have done that if I were leading a country. I would have dumped the prisoners into our country. We had open borders. We had all these things. I was elected on law and order. I was elected on the economy. I was elected on a lot of reasons because when I took over, we inherited a mess. Prices were too high. Inflation was the highest it was in 48 years. I say ever, but the media always corrects me by saying it's only 48 years. I think 48 years almost sounds worse. But when I was elected to do a job. And one of the big things I was elected to do is law and order. We now have the lowest crime rate in the history of our country. We have the lowest murder rate in the history of our country. We have Washington, D.C., which was a dangerous place to walk, is now a totally safe city. You can walk with your husband or your wife. You can walk with your children right down the middle of the city. Nothing's going to happen. We did a great job. We had the National Guard. We have soldiers. We have people that nobody's going to mess with. And we've taken out, remember, it's not just that. In Washington, we've removed over 2,000 criminals. And, if you look at the numbers, a very small percentage of your population, 2%, 3% of your population causes 90% of the crime. So when you move it's amazing how that works. But the criminals go over and over and over again. So 2 to 3% of your population can cause over 90% of your crime. So it's not that complex. We moved 2,000 people out of Washington. We brought them back to their countries where they came from. They came through open borders by Sleepy Joe Biden. And I will tell you,
I love Trump.
Washington is safe. If you look at New Orleans, as you know, we went there about 4 weeks ago. I was with the mayor of New Orleans last night. He was at the premiere. And she was at the premiere. She was great.
Melania, the new movie.
She's a Democrat. She came over. She thanked me so much. She said crime is down more than 50% in just a few weeks. And you couldn't even walk down the street in New Orleans. It's so bad. And now they let us in there. And
Hey, Carrie, have you heard that? You've got a daughter in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is any of that filtering through, or haven't you really heard much? Hopefully they're probably not in a high crime ridden area anyway.
Well, they live on base now, but when they go out, there are areas, tourist areas they're pretty dangerous. It's kind of a crazy dangerous place.
Yeah, I would have known that. Trump's saying it's getting better.
Okay, that's
a reduction of crime. Of course, this is just within the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
But-
I was going to say, she went to a parade. I don't think we talked about this on the show. She went to a parade with some friends, and I can't remember what the occasion was. And she said there were these like 2 men, like they're in a crowd, like watching the parade. And these 2 men came up like behind her. And one of the male, like the husbands of her friend of hers, moved close to her. And those 2 guys walked away. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, were you about to be nabbed and dragged off, like never to be heard from again? And she's like, I don't know. It was a really weird situation. I was like,
It is some scary stuff. And that's the kind of thing that Trump's worried about with illegal immigration.
yeah, that is right in the middle of a crowd, an event, not like the middle of the night stumbling home after being at the bars. This is like really crazy. I was like, damn.
Makes you nervous, right?
Yeah, it does. It makes my, mama bear hair stand up on the back of my neck. But thank goodness for that guy, like being aware. These military guys, they're so like aware of their surroundings all the time. I'm so grateful.
And I know you get that with cops too. I've always noticed that
Oh,
with Will.
yes,
That he's
you're
always real
absolutely right.
aware of what's going on.
I know they know.
Which enables me not to be, which I like.
Well, we all, the regular people like us, we all thank you to everyone, because we just sit around and, we might notice someone's sketchy looking, but we're not looking for it.
I'm especially not. I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6 foot. I'm
Yeah,
a
no one's
6'4".
gonna mess with you.
olive-toned white supremacist. Dyed-in-the-wool TikTok Nazi.
I saw a comedian, this woman oh gosh. I don't that's right. No one's gonna touch you. I wish I knew her name. It was really funny. It was a one-liner, but she was a comedian and she was getting interviewed and someone said, "If you were a man, like if you were a man for 24 hours, what would you do differently?"
Yeah.
And without hesitation, she says, "Oh, I don't know, walk around late at night."
That really is great. There's truth in that, right?
Yeah. So I don't know about the crime in New Orleans, but I think bottom line, wherever this stuff is happening, we need to tighten up. He's right. We voted for law and order. We voted for a secure border. And right now, in 2025, 2026, those go hand in hand. And
Mhm.
what he's doing, like those who voted for him, I mean, not everyone wants carnage. I don't want carnage. I'm like Matt Walsh.
We're getting the carnage anyway
I want it
is my
I know.
issue.
The sad thing, though, is that carnage does not receive the same coverage by our media.
No.
So
Guys, it's coming soon, insurrection, and you're gonna wanna that's the kind of carnage I want. News stories coming out, audiobooks. I'm not ready yet. I'm close. I'm really close, guys. You're gonna love it.
where can I send you something to share on this?
Wherever you want. I don't care.
But what makes it easy?
Can you send it on X or no? Or is it
Yeah,
not on X?
I will try.
Send it on X if you can, then I can pull it right up.
Okay. Well, you know
Um,
what? I did send you something on X, but it's a little video clip that I haven't actually watched, but I think
oh,
you should just
what is it? Let's see.
fly with it. So this has to do with Alex. Is it Alex Pretty?
Um,
And media coverage.
hold on. Why is this giving me a hassle? Go ahead. I've got X is now on my computer giving me a hassle, and it's got to send me some code so I can access my
Oh,
messages.
shoot, sorry. So are you already planning to cover this, photo altering that happened on the coverage of the victim?
I was not, but we can. I was, like I say, I wasn't. I'd like to
So
know if they even know who I am.
I will share.
Do you know who I am?
We'll share. I should know his name before we talk about this. So let's see. I sent
In
you
chat on that device.
his name is Alex Pretty. He is the protester who was shot and killed in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And CNN, in their coverage of him, posted an altered photo in which he is made more attractive.
Okay. Hold on. I've gotcha. I'm trying to pull this up right now.
And
Yeah, here it is. Okay.
yeah.
Hold on. We're going to pull it up, guys. It's just
MSNBC. I heard CNN, so maybe both of them. I'm sure they shared the photo. They're claiming that they didn't know the photo was altered. Whatever. I don't know who gave them the photo.
they didn't know it was altered.
We are not investigative reporters, but there's a side by side of his photo with the altered photo.
I got it.
It's worth
Maybe.
it's worth looking into.
Let's see if it's on here.
Okay.
I know maybe it's up here.
I hope our technology lets us do this. Not that I'm
No,
going to be interrupting the
we've
show.
got it.
Last minute additions here.
Okay. So what
Okay.
you're saying is
So that's him.
reality.
That's him.
Yep. Okay.
On
So
the
let's
left.
pull him up. This is him.
That's him.
That's him.
Looks pretty. Yeah.
He got shot. He came to a peaceful protest
Yeah.
with a loaded handgun, which listen, it's legal to carry a handgun. He had 2 magazines.
Yes.
It's not legal to assault ICE officers. So, and then he tried to pull his gun, at least from the video that I've seen. I have not gotten down in the weeds on it,
I haven't
but
either.
in the end, I'm always going to give law enforcement the benefit of the doubt. And then if it turns out they don't deserve it, that's fine. We'll hold them accountable.
Mhm.
But you know what? Too often people hold law enforcement to ridiculous standards that I just don't think is fair. So this is him.
Mhm.
And here he comes again. You're saying that's a better picture?
Yeah, they filled
So
in
there he's kind of pale and his
They
face
filled
is
in-
kind of long. He's
yep,
kind
they
of
filled
goofy.
in his hair. They gave him they
Oh,
changed his nose.
death
They
suits him.
Ty-
You look better than dead, bud. He says it. This is some video that was on it.
This is the video. Oh boy. So yeah. So this is. Do you see the difference in him?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
So
his
you're saying
jawline.
CNN did that?
Well, CNN and MSNBC.
Look, there he is.
did.
You can definitely see the difference.
They
It's
changed his
noticeable.
jawline, his nose. Oh wait,
He's
let's
a big dork there. Now he's looking a little more suave.
Yep, his eyes actually look more open and a little more
Oh my God.
symmetrical. I mean, if you go back and forth a few times, it's funny
It's
and sad.
noticeable.
And I'm not doing this to criticize his
But
appearance.
we killed both of them,
In real
right?
life, I know, should they count that as 2 casualties of
That's
that
two birds, one
altercation?
stone where I come from.
But I just find that crazy. Now they claim CNN is claiming that they didn't know the photo was altered, so I don't know where it came from.
MSNBC ran the edited image,
Mhm.
and then it showed up at a memorial during the New York Sirens versus Minnesota Frost. I don't even know who that is. Reality wasn't camera ready, so someone hit enhance. Very normal behavior. Totally okay.
Mhm. So anyway, I just found it interesting that they changed. Oh, what does she say about it?
How long is this clip? This is Megyn Kelly.
It's a minute.
Look at Gary, you're adding to the show.
I love
Without
it. I'm so
even
excited.
Let's hear what she has to say.
I know I'm supposed to feel sorry for Alex Preddy,
Which one?
but I don't.
Oh.
I don't. Do you know why I wasn't shot by Border Patrol this weekend? Because I kept my ass inside
'Cause you're
and
already
out of their
pretty, Megyn.
operations. It's very simple. If I felt strongly enough about something the government was doing that I would go out and protest, I would do it peacefully on the sidewalk without interfering via a whistle, via shouting, via my body, via any other way. I would make my objections known by standing there without interfering, because interfering is where you go south.
That's where you go south.
And laying hands on a police officer trying to, or Border Patrol officer or ICE officer trying to conduct a law enforcement operation is a felony.
Boom.
And now you are going to get arrested. And if you do anything that resembles resisting, you're in serious trouble.
You're in danger of getting shot.
I thought this clip was about the photo. It's a terrible post on
Oh.
X. And it says here, yeah, someone doesn't like what she's saying. What do you think about what she's saying?
I think what she's saying is absolutely right.
I mean, I think that's the definition of peaceful protest.
I don't understand why he says, I like Megyn, but honestly, I don't understand this argument. Which argument?
The argument that you should just stand there and make your objection known without interfering. I think these people are really
Yeah.
being incited by multiple from multiple directions to
That's interesting to me.
To do
I,
more.
of course she's right. Of course Megyn Kelly is right. I don't understand. And yeah, I think these people need to just it's a very involved scheme. That's the thing, is that people think, oh, it's just, whatever. It's just these organic protests. No, they've got signal chats. They've got so this is professionally organized by leftist organizations. That's what's going on.
They've got Kyle from last week saying, arm
Get your
yourselves.
guns.
Get your guns. Let's go.
And Tim
It's like,
Balz egging him on. It's Fort Sumter.
yeah.
Okay, Tim.
Oh my gosh.
You know what else happened? This is fabulous. This guys is fabulous news. This week, federal agents descended upon with a warrant and collected all of the 2020 ballots and voting machines from Fulton County, Georgia.
Ooh. Do we think
Because
they're actually still there?
they are actually doing something. I want you to know what I'm looking for the clip right now, because it's fabulous. You want to hear them just here. Let's just start here. Let's start with, if you want to know
before you do it?
Yes, let's take a break, Carrie.
Okay.
How do we take a break again? We sorry, guys.
That's okay.
This is a new thing. Okay, we'll take a break.
Okay. All right.
Okay, guys, we're back. Quick little break. Okay, Carrie, what I've got before I get into the Fulton County stuff, I just want to play Trump. Let's
Okay.
hope I'm on the right one. Let's hit this one. Is that it? This one? There we go. Talking about Minnesota. We're going to leave this with Minnesota with Trump, because I think what he is saying is 100% right on.
So in Minnesota, there's $19 billion. If they think it's 19 billion, triple it or quadruple it. And if we catch a lot of this fraud, and I felt it for a long time, but now we know what's happening. And the answer is, yeah, there will be accountability. It's one of the little problems. You know, I happen to think, and I've said it from the beginning, that a lot of what's going on with respect to Minneapolis, you know, with what's happening with all the hoopla,
All the
is so
hoopla.
people don't talk
You
about
think
the
it's a
fraud.
distraction?
I've said it from day one. It's a distraction, because what you don't see is that we have hundreds of accountants from Todd and from all of the different people. We have hundreds of accountants.
Todd, are you
going
helping with
over
that?
everything that's happening?
I haven't
And
done
we're
an
finding
account.
fraud on top of fraud on
Numbers.
top of fraud.
No thanks.
And I think that they don't want that to happen. You're talking about $19 billion. Probably that's a minimal number. Now, you take that and you go to California. You think California is better? I would say California is worse. It's totally out of control. They don't know what they're doing.
So the reason you're seeing what you're seeing with the protest, the reason you're seeing Alex Pretty getting killed and in his face, his glow up, his post-death glow up.
Right.
The reason you're seeing Renee Good get killed, all of these things
AI generated. Yeah.
are 100% because of the fraud in Minnesota. They are doing everything they can. I mean, this is life or death for the Democrat Party. That's why you're seeing this. Why do they call it their Fort Sumter moment, their John Brown moment? Because they consider this existential. Just like the South considered at that point in time, the tariffs and everything that was being imposed on them, they looked at it as existential. They thought it was going to ruin them, this push against slavery, and so they responded accordingly. At least the plantation owners did. But that was who had the power in the South and the state legislatures and everywhere else. So, but no, Fulton County. So they show up with a bunch of feds. I don't remember how many of them. And all of a sudden it shows up and they go live and they're like, holy cow, the feds are raiding. There's been this warehouse. And it doesn't matter how many times the courts have ordered, oh no, you're supposed to allow people to get them. Fulton County has refused every time.
Okay.
They will not let anybody look at these ballots. This is an assault on the election.
But no one's
Right?
been arrested for obstruction of justice.
Not yet.
Just
Not
saying.
yet.
Okay. Okay.
They're working on it. And, Fannie Willis arrested Trump, arrested plenty of people, did everything she could to ruin their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what they're worried about. But
Okay.
what are they worried about? Because here is who is she? This is the Fulton County Commissioner Mo Ivory Esquire. How's that?
Okay.
How's that for a handle?
He sounds fun.
It's not a he. Wait till you see her.
Oh, okay. Sorry. She.
What a
was the
woman.
name?
Mo.
Oh,
Mo Ivory.
all right. Sorry.
Mo Money.
Mo.
Here she is, hopefully. Where'd she
Okay.
go?
Try to do. Is it going to
That's
be a
not
video?
right. Hold on, guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
John,
it's a
when
video.
when you go to that, try to do that little full screen thing in the corner.
What now?
Oh, when you open it.
Okay, here, I'm going to open it. Now it's on the right tab, I think.
Okay.
And you want me to do this?
Let me see.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what she has to say. She's big worried about this.
Mhm.
Real worried.
Hi, everybody. Listen, I know you're watching the news. You're seeing a lot of stuff about this FBI raid at the Fulton County elections and registrations. I'm on the inside right now. So I just want you to be real discerning about all that you're hearing from people who are on the outside of what's going on. I'm going to give you the truth about what's happening.
She's signing about the truth.
She's doing her own
This is
signing.
Trump. We're going to want to go pick up the 2020 ballots, which are in a secure location inside of here, 700 boxes. The first warrant that they gave was incorrect legally, they didn't follow the right procedure. They went back and they fixed it. And they came back and now they are actually collecting the boxes. They are in the chain of command in Fulton County is that once they are archived, they become the possession of the clerk of Superior Court, which is Shay Alexander. She is here and she is with them inventorying everything that they're taking. We, the commissioners, the chairman, the county attorney, are trying to figure out a legal plan as to maybe an injunction or motion to quash. We don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. We're getting all kinds of legal advice to stop this because once they have the ballots, how do we then turn around and do something different when they've already got their hands on it? So this is an attempt to take your vote away. This is all about November 2026, about the primary on May 19th and then the November election. He does not want the midterm elections to take away his power. So he's trying to create chaos. So this is what he does. Minnesota chaos in Fulton County. We are a target. Protect your vote at all costs. I'm telling you, everybody always says your life depends on it. Oh, your life does depend on it this time.
Are you ready? This chick is scared to death of going to jail. I don't know if you're picking that up.
I'm sorry. That's the greatest thing I've seen in a while. That is the most desperate. They've got to be scared out of their wit.
We're gonna do everything we can. Here she is again.
Right now. Okay.
Here's she, same chick.
Come on, Mo. I loved her sign language. I hope I'm tiny, right? I'm not distracting everyone because I'm having so much fun just modeling.
I think the deaf are entirely confused. They're like, what do we watch? None of this makes any sense at all.
He was like,
this is like no sign language we've ever seen. Here she is again. We're doing your big thing, Carrie. Let's hear what she has to say.
They're in there collecting $700
That's not loud
right now.
Hold on.
No, that looks good.
I know, but it's not loud enough. We can't hear it. Turn that up. Turn up, Mo. You can hear it okay?
Yeah.
All right.
They are in there collecting 700 boxes of ballots right now. We are obviously concerned about the ballots leave here. What will happen to the ballots?
Really?
Our lawyers are going to be working on that. They are working on that as we speak right now. Let me just speak to the larger issue about what this is really all about. This is a scare tactic. This is something that we have seen done before. This is to instill fear, chaos, something that our officials at the national level are doing on a daily basis, and this is not a surprise for us here in Fulton. This is meant to make people afraid to go to the polls because midterm elections are going to be so crucial to course correcting what is going on in our country. So instead of taking care of people who are dying in the streets of Minnesota, they are here in Fulton County trying to get ballots from 2020 that have been in storage for now 6 years from when it was found that there was no problems with the 2020 election.
Okay, so if you're this chick, if you're Mo, and if it's already been found, they've gone through it all. They know it's legit. I mean, it's right down the line the election was. What do you have to be worried about?
Because votes are being stolen, Todd.
Well, the reason they went in is the Justice Department showed a federal judge enough evidence that a federal judge signed off on it. And you know what that evidence was? All kinds of digital trenches of votes that are identical.
Yeah.
I mean, the marks are identical. She's not worried about protecting your vote. Like if you're an actual real person, even a leftist Democrat in Fulton County, Georgia, they don't give a damn about protecting your vote.
No.
What they give a damn about protecting is the 200,000 fake votes that the machines manufactured. That's what they're worried about. And they're worried about going to jail. And you know what? They are worried about going to jail. But the bigger issue is this is so existential because if elections get cleaned up, how many you think the left is going to win? No.
Well, the state they're in now, none.
Right.
You might still have like small pockets where you have like, Democrat, city council people, but no, they're crazy. So, Todd, what are the odds of this actually having any kind of impact?
I think it's going to have an impact. I think that I do think one of the things that Trump is going to do is he's going to do everything he can to clean up elections. So
I'm telling you, that is the next thing that's important to me.
I agree.
While he still lives and breathes and still sits in that Oval Office, he's the only one who's going to do it. He's the only one who can. So.
Yep. Here's John Turley. Hold on. This is on Fox News with Laura Ingraham. So
okay.
And he's
I
talking about
that name, but I can't think of.
Well, he's a legal analyst. Analyst.
Analyst.
My God. Sorry, people. He's a legal analyst.
There you go.
Here we go.
Good.
Now let's hear Let's hear what he has to say. And he's talking about Fulton County, Georgia, and he's going to tell you about the judge that signed off and what they're dealing with. So we're going to get a little bit more information.
Cool.
That and more is Jonathan Turley, constitutional law expert, Fox News
Oh, yeah, I
contributor.
know this guy.
All right, Jonathan, you heard this all day from Democrats and others. It's 6 years later, machine recount, 2 recounts, a machine count, confirming the results of the election. A lot of eye rolling by Democrats and
A
media.
lot of panic, sheer
What's the
panic.
point in going back?
Well, that's a very good question, but we do have a court order here. So a judge found that there was probable cause to allow the seizure of this material. And that's
Sorry, guys.
for any reason. The judge had to conclude that there was a basis for this. We don't know what caused this search. We will have to see. You know, when the election was occurring, many of us said at the time that we did not see evidence of mass fraud, and that certainly is still the case. But there was a lot of frustration by people who were going to court to try to get access to these ballots. They were largely refused in many states. And so this is a very significant step that these are now in control of the FBI and can be reviewed. Now, whether there's anything there, it's hard to tell. We have to see what this judge felt was a basis for this search, and it's quite an extensive search at that.
You know who was on site for the raid?
Ooh, who?
Wonder Woman, Tulsi Gabbard. Love her.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
telling you what,
ma'am.
Tulsi's the real deal. She's been on it for the last year. She's been on all kinds of things. And if you're going to get some reforms and you're going to get some prosecutions, Tulsi's going to be in on it. So, and to be fair, Pam Bondi signed off on this too. We've given Pam Bondi an awful lot of shit for her strongly worded letters, but this is good. This is good.
This is good. Hey, what department is Tulsi Gabbard in? Because I just haven't heard about
She's the
her.
director of national intelligence, so she's kind of merging of NSA and CIA, all of those. She's kind of over all of them. So
good to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Todd. I didn't hear any of that.
No, did you not?
No.
I'm telling you, I don't know what makes it out to people and what doesn't. You know what I mean? I don't know what.
No, I am excited. Granted, I'm watching limited news.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's what Wildly Opinionated News are. You're going to catch up on everything that matters, the most important stuff. So
I'm so shallow. When you told me that Don Lemon was arrested, I went immediately to the news trying to find a video of it happening or something. Couldn't find anyone talking about it. I was so sad.
No, we didn't get a perp walk or anything else. I don't even think there was a mugshot released yet. So, unfortunately, do you know who?
In his mugshot.
So I'm just telling people, keep your eyes. This federal raid was a big deal. What you just saw, them freaking out, and I could pull up media freakouts all over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they're scared to death that something's going to come of this. They're just as scared of this as they are of the ICE raids or of the fraud investigations. It's all the same problem. It's all attacks on what is core to leftist Democrat power. And that's what. So when you hear people say, Trump's this, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do this. I'm telling you, things are happening. And you know what? Trump's not going to be perfect on everything. But I'll say this, that when you said it earlier, you just said it a second ago, you said Trump's the only one that will. Mm-hmm. What you're going to get out of Trump.
Yeah.
So, I think that, do you know who Jeremy Boring is, or don't you?
Jeremy Boring? No.
Yeah. He was the co-founder of the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. You might notice him when I pull him up here. He's on with Piers Morgan.
Oh, interesting.
Hold on. You'll I think know him when I pull him up here.
Well, remember just a Jeremy.
Does he look familiar to you?
Not really.
Okay. Well, he co-founded the Daily Wire. I don't believe is involved now. I think they sold the Daily Wire.
Okay.
There was some kind of shakeup. So I don't quote me on exactly what happened at the Daily Wire. Maybe Ben Shapiro left, or one of them stepped out of CEO management. So I think that they're not actively managing it right now, maybe.
Okay.
But he was instrumental in he hired Candace Owens. He kind of brought Candace Owens into the big, you know what I mean? Your Michael Knowles, your Matt Walsh's.
Good job, Jeremy. Well, you can't win them all.
Well, here he's going to talk about what he sees going on right now in the Republican Party, and I found the conversation kind of interesting as he's talking about there's a fight going on over what's going to happen kind of post Trump.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I don't think MAGA as a concept really outlives Donald Trump. I think it's something that he embodies. He has said that, and I think that he's right, which is why you see this division happening on the right today, because we're going into the midterms right now. And once you're through the midterms, we're going to be back in a new presidential cycle, and it'll be the first presidential cycle in the last decade in which Donald Trump isn't, seeking the office of president of the United States. And so what that means is everyone on the right who wants a hand in defining the future of the party sees a non-Donald Trump centric future just right within reach. And so for that reason, there's going to be a lot of disparate voices trying to seize the mantle of MAGA or seize the mantle of conservatism or seize the mantle. But all of those are in some ways going to be a redefinition because Donald Trump himself MAGA itself was a departure from traditional American conservatism as we've understood it since, say, Ronald Reagan through the Tea Party, et cetera. And so I think that it's a real moment of ideological uncertainty on the right. Right now, I think that the coalition that ascended Donald Trump to the presidency, both in 2016 and 2020, no one is actually grabbing that mantle. Everyone's trying to redefine it in disparate ways. And that could mean that our chances as Republicans going into 2028 are not particularly good. If someone can't find a way to keep that coalition together, then I think that we're looking at pretty strong headwinds.
What do you think, Gary?
I'm concerned by that. I think that's a valid concern. Yeah, I think that when the identity is in question, and I hadn't really thought about that, but Donald Trump does kind of personify for all the things people don't like about him. Those who do like him, we all feel like kind of united behind this strong and well-defined cause. Without him, that's kind of up for grabs. And that's why I think I like the idea of Vance taking over. He's not exactly like Trump, but I feel like everyone will believe that he's behind the same causes.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree. I like Vance as far as the options right now. This is Jeremy Boring again. He's gonna talk about Candace Owens and Tucker, kind of in the same.
Okay.
It's not the same interview, but it's in the same kind of vein. Go ahead.
And I want to say one other thing about Vance. I don't understand it. I haven't researched it, but I recently learned that there's a whole bunch of conservatives, and I'm going to say younger, on the younger side, so 20s, 30s, kind of like young professionals, who are anti-Vance. I don't
Nick
know why.
Fuentes is anti-Vance.
Okay. And
that might be part of what you're getting.
Okay, that could be. And because I don't understand where it comes from, how big is it? Is it an actual movement or is it just Nick Fuentes,
I don't know
an
either.
original thought? Whatever the case is, that concerns me because I think, man, this is something that happens often on the right, and that is that we can't get on the same page.
Well, listen, it happens on the left too.
I guess. Well, now more than before.
Yeah.
Now their primary uniting factor is all hating Trump together.
Yeah.
So.
No, and that's true. But see, that's going to go away too. When Trump goes away, I mean, it's hard to imagine the world stage without Trump on it. So I'm still holding out hope for a third term.
Also.
Right, I agree.
Third term. Yeah. Okay.
But some of that unity is going to go away as well. So there's going to be a reshuffling on all ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we're in the midst of it. Like he's going to talk some in this clip about a combination of leftist populism economics with conservative social mores and kind of combining those into what he thinks that's what MAGA did and what Trump did.
Okay.
Let's hear what Jeremy has. This same guy, Jeremy Boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was, and he's going to talk about Candace and Tucker.
I'd be careful about conflating Candace with Tucker. You know, Candace Owens is engaged in as I see it,
He's not a fan.
Candace is engaged in a project of self-aggrandizement. I've asked Candace on 2 separate occasions, what do you actually believe? And on both occasions, she told me, I believe what the people believe. I am the voice of the people. Never mind that that's a completely
Candace
amoral
Owens thinks
statement.
she's Wonder Woman.
Never mind that I don't know who the people are in this conversation. Never mind that the people, whoever they are, can obviously be wrong. Candace is actually saying something somewhat profound. She's saying, I will say whatever gets the most reward. She may not even know that that's what she's saying, but she's articulating audience capture as a virtue. Tucker Carlson, I don't believe Tucker Carlson's engaged in audience capture. I think Tucker Carlson is part of a small cohort of people. Cohort includes Marjorie Taylor Greene. Cohort includes Steve Bannon. Cohort includes Nick Fuentes, although I'm not saying that Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson believe all of the same things. But these are people engaged in an actual political project. These are people who are engaged in trying to create a new American majority premised on left-wing economic populism and right-wing social populism. You can say what you want about that, whether it's good or bad. You can say what you want about it.
Back.
Yeah. Where do you want to go?
You. Just back. I want to hear what he just said about the left.
Yep.
And
these are people who are engaged in trying to create a new American majority premised on left-wing economic populism and right-wing social populism. You can say what you want about that, whether it's good or bad. You can say what you want about it, but it is a political enterprise. Mm-hmm. They believe that they can create a majority and that majority can rule the country. And it's a new vision in terms of the ruling class in our country. It's not that there's never been people who put forward that vision, but it's never been as poised to seize actual political power as it is right now in the hands of those of that group of people. So I don't, some of the sort of superficial qualities look the same, but I don't think it actually is the same. Candace is not engaged in a political project. Tucker Carlson is very much engaged in a political project.
What do you think, Carrie? I got to tell you, Carrie, you're right on about making those full screen. They look so good. See?
Yeah, thank you. I was like, why am I seeing all of Todd's, the trending and the chats? And I'm like,
good call.
That looks good. I was going to ask you later, and then I was like, oh, let's just do it. The people listening understand that we're trying a new platform, and so it's fine. We're human.
Todd's world is a world in progress.
We are transparent. Okay, so I agree. I understand. I like his differentiation there between Candace and Tucker. I don't understand what he means by a leftist economic populism.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know what that means, because when you say left and economy, I immediately feel resistance in my body. So I'm curious.
A shift. Well, one thing would be a shift from free traders and from a globalist free trade type populism that we got from Bush all the way through Obama, for sure,
Okay.
to tariffs, to America first tariffs,
Okay.
and a move away from a free trader kind of William F. Buckley Jr., Milton Friedman kind of thing. And so there's a shift from that. And you definitely have that with Trump. There's a willingness in Trump to exert more executive kind of influence on the market than your classical conservatives, your classical Hillsdale conservatives would have been comfortable with. Does that make sense? I think they probably still are a little uncomfortable with it. Do you know what I mean?
Probably, but I think, again, that's just because he has to go outside of the normal practices to get anything accomplished.
And so what they're talking about combining that, the way they're doing taxes, this targeted tax breaks and refunds, and Trump is doing a lot of things, like I said, that your small government conservatives wouldn't be real comfortable with. Now, my answer to that is, well, the other option is that the left comes in when the Democrats get power and they do everything they want with all kinds of big government power. Then the right gets in, and if we don't do much and we just kind of try to wind things down, as soon as the left gets back in, they do whatever they want, and we're never making any advances or any gains. And so I've come around some to the fact that it is what it is. You know, we are not a small government country. So, and we're not gonna be anytime soon.
But again, you should say left and economics in the same sentence, and all I think is
Well, he said leftist populism,
right.
and that populist part of MAGA has never been real. If you look back to the Reagan coalition, if you look back to the HW or the George W. Bush days, that wasn't part of it. That populism was not a plank of the Republican Party. Trump brought that in. With that came closing the border and deportations, because the Republicans were on board with that as much. And I think part of the reason you're starting to see a shift in Trump, where he's like, well, don't focus as much on your run of the mill illegal aliens, focus more on the criminals. People say he's saying that. I haven't heard him say that, but if he is, there's a little bit of a bowing to the big business donors. Like there's 17 Fortune 500 companies based in Minnesota, all of which wrote Trump a letter and asked him to tone down on the ICE stuff. There's going to be some of those kinds of pressures. That's just what you're dealing with. Politics is the art of the possible, and the donors and the big business is always going to have a big seat at the table.
Right.
But populism is what Trump brought back.
But they also said economics. So they said like left economic populism. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, because if you put, the populism part, I don't know how that fits in there, but I'm just commenting on the economic side of it.
I tell you what, next week,
Yeah.
I'm going to dig in, and I'll find us some clips that'll dig into that a little bit more from some various people. You know what I mean?
I'd love to hear
Maybe
Scott
on
Bessett's
both
take on that.
sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are kind of analyzing what they're talking about. So we'll do that.
Yeah. Before Trump, before COVID, I had friends who would call themselves socially
Fiscally
liberal,
conservative and
fiscally
socially liberal,
conservative. Yep,
right?
exactly. So it's like that flip sounds
Feels
odd to
like a
me.
flip, but when you plug in that populism, I don't think it's as much of a flip as what you're
Okay.
thinking.
Got it. Yeah, I'd like to understand that better. So, okay.
I'm going to share. We're going to
Taxation is still theft, in my opinion, but move on.
We're going to shift, and this is where I've got a few things I want to play that are not, at least not current politically oriented. And this is an interview with former President Richard Nixon talking about the media. And I found this interview kind of
can't wait to hear this.
just kind of fascinating. And so this is kind of the stuff I like to get into as we're kind of closing out, some stuff that's a little different. So, okay. If you guys see me looking around, it's because I can't find
They have much more power than most people would like to think.
the media he's talking
When we
about.
think of the media in this country, the problem is that they have a sense of self-righteousness, a double standard on issue after issue.
I love
after issue.
Nixon.
They can find everything wrong with somebody else, but they will not look inside and ever admit that they could be wrong themselves. And what was involved here in the Watergate thing was the unfairness of it. Oh, there was a legitimate thing to investigate, but they refused to balance it. They allowed their advocacy to get ahead of their reporting, which is their job to do.
Wow. Advocacy.
President Eisenhower, in his farewell address, wrote about and warned against the power of the military-industrial complex. I didn't get a chance to make a farewell address, but when I get
He
old
was doing this
and decide
off
to
the
retire,
helicopter.
and I'm not planning it at the moment, but when I get that old, if I make a farewell address, I think I would warn against the media elitist complex. The media is always talking about the imperial presidency, the power of the imperial presidency. I think we ought to hear a little bit of discussion of the imperial media and its power. You see, presidential power is limited by the courts. limited by the Congress. The media's power is unlimited. And some would say, but what about libel suits? Forget it. After the Supreme Court's decision in Sullivan versus New York Times a few years ago, a public figure cannot collect in a libel suit against newspaper or television unless he can prove malice.
It's almost
And
impossible.
there's no way
Wow.
that that's going to be possible. As far as the media is concerned, all we can hope from them, if they're going to be responsible, is self-analysis, self-criticism, and some of them are trying.
How's that
They're
worked
honest
out,
on
guys?
this. The other thing is competition.
He's right.
But what we see in terms of newspapers across the country is more and more places where there's only one paper. Take Washington, D.C. Since the Star left the scene, the Washington Post is the only major newspaper being printed in the most important capital in the world. I wouldn't like to leave the fate of this country to the editors of the Washington Post.
I want to point out
Wow. Well
that
said.
he's
Yeah,
right.
that's a zinger.
And that took care of itself to some extent. You saw Rush Limbaugh come on in 1988. You saw Fox News come on in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
The internet took off. All of a sudden, social media, all of a sudden, X takes off.
Yep.
So
Newsmax.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the what he's talking about was true then, but some of that has resolved itself just through technology and freedom of innovation
Yep.
in speech. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We'll let Tricky Dick keep talking. I like Dick. He got royally screwed. Trump, I think, was a student of history, and he looked at what happened to Nixon, and he determined that was not going to happen to him. And that's why you see the combativeness in Trump. That's why you can go from 2015 all the way till now. You can look at a lot of the moves Trump's made, and it's because of what he saw him do to Nixon. And he thought,
Gotcha.
they'll destroy me if I let them.
I was gonna say it's why he bites back.
Right.
Yeah.
Nixon didn't enough, but it was new then. You know what I mean?
Sure. It was probably pretty shocking. And I
Yeah.
mean, and that story was a shock to people. Like that wouldn't really shock anyone now.
Right.
It was a different era.
Let's hear what if he's got anything else to say that's worth.
Do you think that the First Amendment has been misused or abused by reporters?
Oh, no question about it. It's used basically as a license. Let's face it, Sullivan versus New York Times is in effect a license to lie because they can tell an untruth, print an untruth, which some of them consciously do if it's going to sell newspapers or what have you, or win a prize. And then they can always get behind the barrier under that case of saying, well, I didn't intend any malice. I had no malice.
That's a terribly cynical approach, though, to people who are doing their best, who are going to work, who are maybe trying to sell papers, certainly, but are trying to tell the truth.
Well, let me say right at the outset of this conversation, I made it clear that I was not speaking personally. I was not speaking generally. I'm simply speaking of what I have found to be an unfortunate majority at the present time. I think it could change. There are a lot of very good, responsible reporters, particularly in the writing press. Not yet that much in television, because television is so consumed with ratings and the rest. They'll do almost anything to get a story.
Is there any way to get some kind of a handle on this situation? Should the media be investigated? Should it be controlled?
No, I may disagree, for example, with what some president does with his power, but I don't want to abolish the presidency or I don't want to control it. The same is true of the press. I believe in a free press. I do not want government control under any circumstances or government censorship of either radio, television, or newspapers. But I'm simply suggesting here that all of the media should look within themselves, look through that microscope at themselves, look in the mirror now and then, rather than looking out there to others.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Sorry, but
You know what I loved in that? I loved how you thought he was backpedaling a little bit. He started to say, "I'm not speaking personally, or I'm not speaking generally." It was like you almost felt like he was going to do this cover his ass statement.
Yeah.
Instead, he says, "I'm just speaking about the majority," and I was like, "Whoa!" It was
I think
it was
your
bolder than
mom.
where I
think-
thought he was going.
Yeah, Nancy, your mom told me that her dad, your grandpa, loved Nixon. Is that right? And I know a lot
I
of
recall
people
that.
did.
And I was, obviously
Right. You were
clueless about politics during that era, but yeah, I recall him.
Well, Nixon was before us. I mean, he was
Right,
when
right.
did he fly away in, like,
Uh,
72?
I was
Well,
gonna say.
Carter was elected in 76.
Okay.
So, Nixon was elected in 68 and then 72. 72 was that massive slide when he won, like, an ungodly amount of electoral votes against Hubert Humphrey, I think.
Okay.
And then it was between 72 and 76 when Watergate happened and Nixon resigned and Jerry Ford took over, and then Ford
So,
lost to
yeah.
Carter.
He was president until August of 1974.
Okay. So you were
So
alive. I was not alive.
Oh, I was
I was
gonna
born
say,
in 75.
you weren't alive. I was alive, but I was, a little toddler.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't know
but
what
I
was
remember
going on.
him hearing that he liked Nixon, and it was funny because I remember growing up with this vague impression that Nixon was a bad guy.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
definitely had
because
that. That was
because of the
across.
scandal.
Yeah, and
He
the
was under this shadow of scandal, but I remember questioning it. You're gonna laugh. This is why I questioned it. Do you remember the show Family Ties
Yeah.
with Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, it was
Michael J.
Alex
Fox
P. Keaton or something?
Alex P. Keaton
Yeah.
always was like, hippie parents, but he was like this like little young Republican in the suit
Yeah.
and tie at like 17, and he would always speak favorably of Nixon.
Oh, yeah. And so you started thinking, "Wait a
He'd make
minute."
pro-Nixon jokes, and I remember being young thinking, "Huh, that's interesting that there's another perspective on Nixon." That's just a
That you had never thought
memory I
about
have.
before.
Yeah, it's funny.
That is funny. I remember that too because, yeah, Nixon, there was obviously the scandal hung over everything.
Mhm.
You remember John Stossel?
Yes, I love John
I
Stossel.
love John Stossel too. Here he's talking about unions.
Oh,
And
nice.
and this is how he gets these 4 or 5-minute clips, and I think, "Man, they're just so good." So we like
Yeah.
to kinda walk through them once in a while when I find a good one. So let's hear what John Stossel has to say about unions before we
Cool.
leave.
The left love unions. If you want a better life for you and your children, join a union. The media say unions are
The institutions that brought us the weekend, the middle class.
I say capitalism created the middle class, and employers competing for the best workers brought us the weekend. But the media credit unions and claim without a union, companies like Amazon abuse workers.
A nightmare workplace where employees often see coworkers cry at their desk.
Whoa.
Again and again,
I mean,
Amazon.
Amazon's pretty busy.
The Teamsters at UPS had more success.
We are the Teamsters, the mighty, mighty Teamsters.
A few years ago, they demanded more pay.
A fair contract is just a little bit more money, only because they make so much more money.
UPS was making lots of money.
Understandable.
Thanks to that, they were growing, offering pay raises, hiring more workers. But the Teamsters wanted more and threatened to strike.
What could potentially be one of the largest and costliest strikes in decades.
So UPS gave in.
Full-time UPS drivers will now earn an average of $170,000 a year.
Union workers liked it. Teamsters president, Sean O'Brien.
This is going to improve their lives tremendously.
Sounds great.
Sounds great for the workers who get to keep their jobs.
Economist Leah Poligashvili.
In just 1 year alone, 20,000 UPS workers lost their jobs on the heels of this historic contract.
20,000 workers.
They will lay off those 20,000 workers and close a number of facilities.
Closing over 70 facilities.
UPS lost a lot of their business and their volumes to their competitors.
That was the result of what MSNBC called collective bargaining at its finest.
These headline-grabbing union deals are delivering short-run sugar highs with long-run hangovers.
Whoa, look at that.
And UPS is just one example of this.
Shipping freight all across the country, trucking giant Yellow Corp.
Yellow Corp was one of the biggest carriers in America. Then the Teamsters threatened to strike, demanding faster payments of health care benefits and pensions.
The company warned the strike could cause it to go bankrupt.
But O'Brien kept pushing, saying, fulfill your obligation or we'll strike. So Yellow gave in.
Yellow freight executives agreed to pay, and the strike was averted.
But just days later,
the trucking company halted operations, putting 30
20,000 people out of
Dang.
work. Most of those were union jobs.
One day we're going to strike, and within 4 days, we lose our job.
The union knew its demands could kill the company, but they were shocked when it actually happened.
Do you feel responsible for the 22,000 Teamster jobs that are being lost?
No, not at all. It just got to a point where they were so mismanaged.
And that's true. It was having a lot of financial issues. But if you're on the verge of collapse, the last thing you need is a Teamsters labor union contract that says you have to increase labor costs. Yellow is basically covered in gasoline, and Sean O'Brien comes and lights the match.
Unions repeatedly killed their own jobs. The same year Yellow went bankrupt, the United Auto Workers boss told his members.
Why would they kill their own jobs, do you think?
Well, because they probably, well, two things. One, I don't think they believe that, the money's that tight. And also, I'd like to know, and I know this is going to be a non-conservative way of looking at this.
Leftist
but
populism.
We're more about truth here than party, right?
Yep.
I'd like to know how much the executives got when that company went under.
I'd like to know that too. I'd like to know how the stock options, the whole thing.
Yep.
There's no doubt that there's a point to this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's completely encapsulated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll let him keep going here. He's not too much left.
Verse.
Stand up and strike.
Union shop! Union shop! Pretty soon,
Layoffs at plants across the country are starting up because of the strike.
when I grew up, Midwestern states were called the Steel Belt. Now they're called the Rust Belt.
The Rust Belt was once a thriving heartland of America that has been
Or they're called Lower Lakes, Upper Woodlands.
plains completely destroyed.
The media blamed the Rust Belt on global trade.
Foreign competitors came up with revolutionary innovations, and America's steel industry went bust.
But Polygashvili says
It wasn't trade that killed the Rust Belt. It was labor unions. Companies said, higher labor costs, tons of strikes, productivity isn't going up. We're going to relocate. And they did.
one reason unions are able to keep killing jobs is because America has pro-union laws that protect established unions.
If you are a worker at a unionized workplace, you can't say to the union, I don't want to be part of this collective bargaining agreement. I want to work directly with my boss. That's prohibited.
Yeah, I tried that when I first got a job on television, and I was shocked to be told, no, you may not. If you don't join the union, we have to fire you.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
In 24 states, employees can be forced to pay union dues, even if they reject union representation.
Wow.
That helps the established unions like
Sounds
the
like
Teamsters.
freedom, doesn't it?
And they brag they have.
It sounds like Democrat lobbyists.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's what I say. Why would unions do that? Well, they do it because they make a lot of money. I mean, the execs in the union field,
$1 billion in assets.
They have a billion in assets.
Won today.
They won, but many workers lost.
My insurance is going to be gone. Medical bills I have to pay. Don't know where I'm going to come up with that money.
I think it's a great victory for the labor movement.
We invited Sean O'Brien to come here, give your side of the story. His people said he was too busy.
Is he rolling around on his like a uncle? Who's Donald's who are the McDuck, that guy?
Oh, Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck. Sean's like
rolling around in his
piles
money.
of cash.
The Teamsters supported Trump in 2024. And that was considered a big get by Trump.
Yeah, I mean, definitely to get that. But I don't know, Todd. What do you think? Tell me your thoughts on this. I'm so torn on unions.
I'm torn on them too. I don't I mean, I know you do have situations where they do end up, it seems like they cost, like you'll have a company that'll go under instead. At the same time, I think that they do have a benefit and that companies will abuse their workers and that it's fair for the, it's not unreasonable to say that the UAW is responsible for a lot of paid time off and a lot of the things that we take for granted.
Right.
I think unions did a lot of work and fought for it. There's a lot of corruption with them too. I feel the same way about them I do with all the other institutions like church and everything else. It's all mixed up.
True.
It's mixed up with all kinds of corruption. It does do some good.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In certain times and like
They were so necessary when they were first created, but I feel like they've now morphed into this, breeding ground for the corruption that you're talking about.
it makes you wonder,
It does.
you know,
So
and
when I was a teacher, I got so much pressure to join the teachers union, which
oh,
I
I
never
bet.
did. I never did. But no one understood that. And in my mind, I was just like, I don't want to be part of the union. Like I was making nothing, next to nothing, and I didn't want to be giving more money
Right.
away. It
How
was
are
like,
you helping?
yeah. So anyway,
One other thing, then we're gonna call it a day.
okay.
We kinda went kinda long. This is
Did
like
we? Oh my gosh.
well, I bet it's a Hall of Fame level. People love it. I don't think that there's no
This went
downside.
so fast. This I think has been really interesting.
But I wanna talk about breast milk before we leave.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about breast milk. I have wild opinions about it.
I bet you do. That's what I thought when I read this.
Cool.
So I'm gonna read through it, and you may already know all about this. It may be me who's new to the breast milk science studies. I was wondering
like,
what was going on.
breast
I've been
milk
captivated with
headline?
breasts my whole life, and now
You
I'm finding
dove
out
right
about
in.
breast milk.
All right.
Breast milk. She thought she was studying milk. What she uncovered was a conversation. Sorry, guys, I'm reading an ex post right now.
I love that.
In 2008, evolutionary anthropologist Katie Hind was working in a primate research lab in California analyzing breast milk from rhesus macaw mothers. It must be some kind of a ape monkey.
Rhesus. It's rhesus. It is. It's a
Rhesus
kind of monkey. Yep.
macaw. Yeah, it's some kind of monkey. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember how to say that one, but rhesus is a type of monkey. Okay.
So she had,
Primate, right?
yep, she had hundreds of samples and thousands of data points. Everything looked ordinary until one pattern refused to go away. Mothers raising sons produced milk richer in fat and protein. Mothers raising daughters produced a larger volume with different nutrient balances. It was consistent, repeatable, and deeply uncomfortable for the scientific consensus.
Okay.
Colleagues suggested error, noise, statistical coincidence, but Katie trusted the data. Milk is not just nutrition, it's information. For decades, biology treated breast milk as simple fuel, calories in, growth out. But if milk were only calories, why would it change depending on the sex of the baby? Katie kept digging. Across more than 250 mothers over 700 sampling events, the story grew more complex. Younger first-time mothers produced milk with fewer calories, but significantly higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone.
Are we still reading about monkeys research?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
The babies who drank it grew faster. Well, she might have switched because they kept studying, but I think this is still about monkeys. But eventually she turned her, because she has a TED Talk and the whole thing, she turns it to human breast milk. The babies who drank it grew faster. They were also more alert, more cautious, more anxious. Milk wasn't just building bodies, it was shaping behavior. Then came the discovery that changed everything. When a baby nurses, microscopic amounts of saliva flow back into the breast. The saliva carries biological signals about the infant's immune system. If the baby is getting sick, the mother's body detects it. Within hours, the milk changes. White blood cells surge. Macrophages, am I saying that right? Multiply.
I think so.
Targeted antibodies appear. When the baby recovers, the milk returns to baseline.
Fascinating.
This was not just a coincidence, it was call and response. A biological dialogue refined over millions of years, invisible until someone thought to listen. Katie reviewed existing research. She noticed something unsettling. There were twice as many scientific studies on erectile dysfunction as on breast milk composition. The first food every human consumes, the substance that shaped our species, was largely ignored. So she did something bold. She launched a blog with a deliberately provocative name, Mammals Suck Milk. It exploded. Over 1 million readers in its first year. Parents, doctors, scientists, people asking questions research had skipped. The discoveries kept coming. Milk changes by the time of day. Fore milk differs from hind milk. Human milk contains over 200 Saccharides?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I'm
Right.
so out of my depth with science
That
right
is wild. Okay.
I'm trusting the science, people. I'm following the science. That babies can't digest. I didn't know what that line meant when I read it earlier. I don't know it now.
Okay.
Every mother's milk is
Contains something that the babies
biologically
can't digest. Okay.
unique. She brought her work to a TED stage and she continues her research. Milk has been evolving for more than 200 million years, longer than dinosaurs walked the earth. What we once dismissed as simple nourishment is one of the most sophisticated communication systems biology has ever produced. Katie Hine didn't just study milk, she revealed that nourishment is intelligence, a living, responsive system shaping who we become before we ever speak. What do you think, Carrie?
Wow. So I do understand that line, although I don't know how to say that word.
Okay, well, you're better than me then, because I don't even
What it
understand the
is,
line.
so, in our guts, we have good bacteria and bad bacteria.
Okay.
So the breast milk, human milk contains this thing that the babies can't digest. It stays in there and it feeds the beneficial bacteria in their guts.
Oh,
That's
so it's getting them
amazing.
ready. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm just fascinated by all this. So
I
glad
thought you might be. I thought that our audience might be fascinated too, and that you might have some opinions.
Wild.
I don't have any opinions. I gotta.
Well, I'm fascinated by it. I didn't know some of that. I've never heard that before. I do know there's a difference between fore milk and hind milk because they teach you that if you're nursing babies, they tell you to.
What is fore and hind?
So fore milk is the milk that comes out first. It's kind of in the
Okay,
foreground.
gotcha.
And that is a little bit thinner. It's more thirst quenching. It's thinner. If you nurse longer in the same session and on the same side, you then get the hind milk, which is thicker, more like nutrient rich, more filling.
Okay.
So they say, like, if you're trying to get your baby to sleep through the night at a certain point, that nursing longer on one side will give them more of that hind milk, which stays with them longer.
I'm assuming that this isn't like formula isn't changing in the blender as it detects the baby being sick, right? I mean, is that fair?
That's fair. Yes. That's
Are you one of these? Would you be a person who is like all about babies need breast milk?
So I respect women like making their own decisions, but I definitely have taken opportunities when I can to voice like, hey, if you can even just do it for a few months, it really does. Not only does it set the baby up for stronger immune system and all that, it also saves a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah.
But also it actually I don't know if it goes into this later in this article, and it's not really what it's about, but breastfeeding like helps your body heal.
Okay. So it's
So
good for the mom too.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna just give you one like very like obvious thing that
The only
happens.
downside is it ruins your breasts.
It kind of does. It kind of does. But
For a porn-addled society, that's a downside. Go
yeah.
ahead.
But no, what's really interesting is early on, like after you have a baby and you're nursing, you'll have these cramps in your stomach while you're nursing. And it's like contractions. And what that is that process causes your uterus to like go back to,
Oh,
because it's been stretched out. It causes it to like contract again and get back to
yeah.
like the pre-pregnancy size. And I'm sorry, like that's so fascinating to me.
You know what I pick up from it all is like, it seems like God had a pretty good design on what he was doing out of the gate, right?
The design of breastfeeding, like, yeah, scientifically is like the most miraculous thing. It's as miraculous as like the baby being born.
Well, like the science part of it, all we're doing is finally observing something that's been going on since God created us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
God invented it.
I know. It's wild. It's so cool.
So yeah, I thought that I just thought that was interesting. Like I said, I'm not a big,
Yeah.
whatever.
I loved that. It was really, really hard. Oh my gosh, it was
I
so
don't have a
hard.
breast milk fetish.
That's good.
Like
That's good. No, it was so hard, but also really rewarding that, like, when I finished, I was sad about it.
Okay.
It was like, "Oh, I'm done." Like, but yeah.
I would tend to agree with you from what I know that I think breast milk sets up babies for life to be
It does a lot of good
to
things.
to do really well. And now listen, I know people have different situations.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there are all
everything
different kinds of reasons why women maybe choose not to do it or can't.
Right.
Some are not capable, which is really unfortunate, but
Right.
yeah, I'm not judgy, but I just have told, like, my daughter and young people, like, "Hey, if you can,
Right.
just
Let's
do it
at
for a
least
little while."
acknowledge it for what it is, which is
Yeah.
this is what God designed. This is the best.
Yeah.
Now there may be reasons
Body
why
was
things
made to do it.
happen where you can't, and where for
Mhm.
whatever reason, you know, we all run into that but those are the outliers.
Yeah.
Everything being equal, this is the best way to do it was the way God set it up to
Sure.
begin with.
What
So,
do you think about the male and female with the monkeys?
well, I think it's interesting because I think that it at least tells us that I mean, and let me tell you what, this would be news to Ketanji Brown because she doesn't even know what a woman is. So she'd be our Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown would be like, "What are they talking about? How did they even know to look?"
I know. Or she'd be really offended by the inequity. She'd be like, "Wait, why aren't the female monkeys getting the same amount of protein?"
It just
And they agree.
reinforces everything. It reinforces
Yeah.
that God designed all of this to begin with. He designed the genders. He intended you to be the gender that you are. Like God's design, his hand, his creative mind is behind, in, through, supporting all of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it does for me. You know what? Call me little beers of Jesus, whatever. But
No, I think it's really that's
when you
really
find
very
stuff like this in science, all you're doing what this Katie, whatever her name was, the researcher,
Katie
Katie Hind, the researcher who did this, all she's doing is she's focusing in on this unique particular refraction of God's eternal presence that happens to be being revealed to her and that she can then take and reveal to the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? She's
Right.
just discovering a unique aspect of God's creation. And in that, you're discovering unique things about God, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good. It's pronounced rhesus macaque, by the way.
There you go. I wonder what one is. But we should look that up. I'm gonna have to because I don't even know how to spell it. So I'm gonna have to copy and paste it
It's
and see what I can pull
R-H-E I
up.
know how to spell it.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
R-H-E-S-U-S
That's what she was studying.
M-A-C-A-Q-U-E. Yeah.
You see, you know what it is. I can't even find it on here. Where do I even search? Wow,
search.
I'm so challenged, guys. I don't even know what's going on.
Let's see. Let's look here. Let me look up image. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
You got one? I
Yeah.
might have pulled one up too. Wait a minute.
It's
That's
these
Big
guys.
Mike. That's cool.
It's
Okay,
these.
so that's what she was studying, which is kind of probably a mid-size, maybe primate. It doesn't look like a real small monkey, and
Nope.
it doesn't look like, you know, orangutan size or anything.
Oh, look. Here we go. Here's one appropriate for Katie's research. There's one.
Oh, look at him go.
Now, if that's a male rhesus macaque, it's getting all kinds of protein.
That are unique to males. It's wild.
It's amazing.
God set it all up.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, guys, come back to Beers with Jesus tomorrow.
Please do.
Check out the Beers with Jesus from last week. It was great. Special episode about Life West, but it was a good episode. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. Just worked out good. But kind of a break for us because we walk through the stories of the Bible most of the time, and we're going to be back to that tomorrow. So join us. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe if you haven't. Send some clips. You know, we put clips out. Right now, my Facebook is still hacked. I hope to get in soon.
Yeah, I meant to ask about the update. Is it really you're still locked out?
Yeah, it can take a while from what I'm hearing. So
have they put an end to the
I doubt it.
person who's posting stuff?
No, because people still send me things and they'll be like, I just want you to know this is still happening. And I'm like, well, I assumed I can't get into it. So
look here.
But hopefully I'll get my Facebook back one of these days. You can find us on Instagram, X, all the socials like that. On Substack, Todd's World's out there. Some places it's Todd's World 2023. Some places it's just Todd's World. ToddsWorld.net is where you can find all the merch. And very, very soon, we're going to have a big announcement. We're going to have kind of a grand reopening for ToddsWorld.net. And there's going to be a bunch more available with stories and everything else. And I'm super excited about it.
This might be the Todd Allen who hacked your
It's been in the negatives up here, folks. Not as bad as Greenland.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So
stay warm.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. Send us, you know what? Tell people about us if you enjoyed it. It's the only way that we're going to grow. And we appreciate all of you listening. That's why we do it. Hope that you enjoyed it. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me today. We banged out another one, another 2-hour plus. Look at us go.
Thank you for inviting me week after week.
Week after week. Carrie has an infinite, in perpetuity invitation, just like we have with Greenland. We just have Greenland now.
Wait, am I Greenland in the scenario?
Yeah, you're Greenland.
Gotcha.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We will catch you tomorrow. Beers with Jesus. Come back. Same time. Well, you know what I mean. Same
Sounds
place.
good.
All right. See you guys.